Somebody gave you the wrong notes, Parler, I feel like, on that particular one. Welcome to the casting booth. It's actually the Eternal J and X-Warrior, or XX-Warrior, Pavlos, as he wants to be known, ready for an absolute banger. My friend, this is going to be a hell of a matchup, because Fnatic have so much to prove. Big would have proved so much over the course of their entire career, it feels like. And as we continue to hot up the action here in the Pinnacle Cup Championship, this is certainly a best of three that you want to start the day with.
Yeah, I mean, we've already seen Fnatic on that best of one. We've already seen them kind of shoot over what everybody expected them coming into this tournament. So now on a best of three, this is the real test coming in for these guys. Obviously, whatever maps they were thrown at for this best of three, they were always going to come out as the underdogs, really. You can't really try and fight when there are a lot of bans involved. When Big was able to see the strengths of Fnatic from yesterday, there is not much Fnatic can build towards to gain an advantage on what fields they will be playing on. So yeah, it's going to be a tough one, and starting things on Nuke, at least they get started off on the CT side to see if this works out for them.
Absolutely. Quick prediction for you, Pavlos. How are you going on this one?
It's got to be Big, man. It's just they're just too strong at this point. Very organized play, and I can't see Fnatic doing too good against them at this point.
Just for the sake of sticking with the long hair gang, I'm going to go with the Fnatic prediction.
Right, I see.
I want to have some faith. Let's see if my boy Messi can do some work here. Pistol round with Big taking instant control of the ramp room. I'm going to lead that charge out towards Hell, but Forest is flanking back around, working towards the outside and thinking about that heaven play. Nico Otis, however, draws first blood. Crimbo catches Forest off guard, brings it back to a 4-on-4, and continue working in from that sequence control for Nico Otis. The bomb should commit to the site, but the taps of the USPs are just too strong for them. Heads rolling all over the site. Nico Otis trying to get on Tizian, leaving Farben alone in the 1-on-3, a clutch that he just can't win.
Yeah, a lot of press for Big, gaining a lot of space early on in that matchup. I mean, at the backside of things, it seemed like Big were a little bit lost on that end. But, you know, they were able to square up the shots in the end and get the win.
Perfect start. Very confident Pistol, despite Big taking all sorts of map control in the early part of that. Felt like they were going to have a decent wrap towards that A site. Such great shooting, and the accuracy is going to be something to worry about. Dweg mentioned on the desk the concept of the youngsters and the newer additions on both Big and the Fnatic roster, and those are the guys you want to look at to make the biggest differences here. They certainly did. Nico Otis especially tripled to start the matchup.
Yeah, Fnatic, they want to keep the ball rolling as early as possible, and the fact that they've got M4s already in their camp, that's going to feel a lot better for them. So I can understand really this way of playing, and of course I want to keep those distances very long. So on the Big side, we can see some early aggression, smokes thrown out maybe for some particular push, but it seems contact may be imminent straight out of the bat. Fairly aggressive on that end. Faven just on the other side of the smoke. Forest just walked past. Faven makes it all the way below.
That's very curious, I feel.
Oh, this could be all important. Oh, Crimbo with the first shot.
Misses it though. Nico Otis managing to play around him. Knows that he's close. Might even have to focus on players in the back lines, and we'll spot at least one of them. Second player unknown, but Farben makes that backstab work alongside Tizian Stiegel, and the Pistols aren't done, it seems.
Just playing dances around them at this point. Fnatic lost it this way, and Crims has got an all-important deal to do, but Tizian finds an M4 and just puts it to its use straight away, and all of a sudden, Fnatic are on a massive back foot.
Forest and Mezzi with all the work to be done, making tons of noise out here towards Secret. They do get a couple of kills back, Mezzi in particular with his MP9 finding a double. The 2 versus 1 still left for him to clutch. He's firing onto that heaven control. Has the bomb in his sights. So the teams have to challenge him, making noise, trying to play distraction. He turns on Season at the right moment, gets his kill, has all the info up against Tizian. The last man dives out of the way, looks for another weapon, or just goes for the reload and goes for the very long flank.
Yeah, but importantly for Big, they don't have the bomb control just yet. Tizian has to make his way towards it, but he might find Mezzi looking at him at the wrong timing.
It's all case of timing, 15 seconds on the timer. He grabs that bomb, has no real way to work into the A site, so he goes towards B instead with that rotate, open up the squeaky door, and Mezzi will be aware. No kit, going to come in still slowly and carefully, not giving up the information as to his flank. Tizian might even have his back turned towards the man. Did he shut the decon door? Yes, he did. That's perfect. Mezzi's going to open up and fire away immediately and still win the clutch. The full-on quadra for the man as he holds it together for Fnatic.
All important there for Mezzi. I mean, if Fnatic, if they would have lost that, that would have been catastrophic, but you've got to give props to Big. They did a lot of damage in that round. That round started off with 4 M4s, maybe 3. Could be miscounting at this point, but still, that's a lot of firepower gone.
Yeah, damage at the very least for Big. I mean, the bomb plant bonus and everything. Like, in the grand scale of things, when you look at it from the outside perspective, this is a fantastic round for them. Fnatic just barely gaining their second. At least Mezzi has a money bonus. That won't mean much here. Still 2 SMGs and a FAMAS in the first gun round. Big have a definitively better buy, including the AWP out early for Searson.
Yeah, getting the AWP out early for Searson. Let's see what he can do in this one. I mean, still early days, but those angles you can create with this gun on this map could be catastrophic. A lot of early nade damage from both ends. Searson barely surviving through that scramble, but still, Big looking to set that almighty default.
Yeah, Fnatic will start things off on the right foot, though. 2 players tagged versus Forest, just sponging the damage on that SMG. The rifles stay unscathed. Forest continues pressing forward, though. HP doesn't matter to the man, in fact. Kill found, opening start.
Big a little bit troubled here. They've given away a lot of space, therefore taking quite a bit of time to clear this one out. Crim's very far in trophy room. Big need to be a bit curious here if they want to make something happen out of it. Their hopes are kind of dwindled. Their confidence must have be subsided. Searson can't play that aggressive with the AWP anymore, and you really want him to in these instances. So Fnatic being able to find the bounce back straight out of the bat would be good, but these are the last smokes available for Big now being used on the outside, and it seems only one player will be taking use of it to kind of get across on.
Work their way in, carefully position themselves. That one man, a Crim, still sat there in the trophy room. Crimbo won't even look the right way.
Oh, no.
And this is veteran instinct. He turns in the end. Kill still found on the SMG. That's 3 MP9 frags in this round. 7 in the last 2. And it all falls apart for Big again. 20 seconds, they're out of time.
Crims, that was massive. The trigger discipline there. The composure to just stick around there. And Big, it took a while for them to check that corner, and it was all too late. So Fnatic lost an all-important round the previous, but due to the brilliance of the aggressiveness from both Forest and Grims, they were able to bring it back out and maybe guarantee that 3-0 start.
The Hunt will not find any further T-side members. They'll stay alive. That won't mean much on the scoreboard, though. This CT side has started to get real going for Fnatic, and the damage that they took in the previous eco is now basically been recovered. 3 AK saved for free. And to think as well, Forest and Crim's got away with as much as they did on the SMGs. Forest had 24 HP when he went for that aggressive play. So how Fnatic got away with so much is pretty much a blunder on Big's part for my money.
Yeah, you can't really start off being a little bit too nervous about this, right? Big need to come in with confidence. They're the ones that have the advantage here. They're the ones that you kind of expect to come out on top. So the fact that they're playing a little bit scared, there's some criticisms around Big that maybe they're playing too organized, maybe they're playing too macro, and are not really taking fights as confidently as they should. Maybe this is what we're seeing straight out of the bat here on Nuke.
The AWP of Searson set in the rebuy. Not coming around the 2 save weapons. They'll combine with those weapons, though, and take down Roy. Thompson in particular, with the credit of the frag. Searson work outside alongside the man. It is a force invest overall for Big. So they still have that 1 extra rifle and the 2 Deagles. Firepower is aplenty for them. What more can they do? Is it only going to come down to the AK and the AWP? It might just be Searson's got another player that's about to face him.
Good shot by Mezzi to keep them in front. Nikodo seems to have a fairly good sense of what's going on the outside position. Big telegraphed, and you can see some short rotation coming in from Big. Now spending an extra player to assist Nikodos. Oh, and he needs to be wary of the left extremity as well. Tapstone is there, and will be able to find the first shot in that instance. Big, now in numbers, can traverse around this as they please, but Fnatic, stay quiet.
Yeah, perfect burst. Trying to fight back from that back foot, doing everything they can to do so. A careful creep up towards heaven as a result. Crimbo will still lead that charge. Tabson right behind him with the bomb, and there is a player up in the rafters. Crim standing, but Forest falls on the low ground, turned away from engagement against Crimbo. Goes well for Crims, looks back for the double, but not able to get the triple. They're convergent at the same time, and again it's Mezzi in the clutch. He won a 4K in the previous SMG round. Now with a better rifle, will look to burst through, but Thompson with that swing just ahead of the smoke, saw the man before it bloomed, and landed the most perfect headshot I've seen this week.
That man's determined. That man wanted that kill, and he just swung out and just told me, yeah, you said something about aggression earlier. Well, I'm just going to just wide swing of smoke just like that. Mezzi stood no chance, and that was a quadra piece for him as well that round. Insane stuff really from Big. I mean, it got a little bit rough around the edges, around mid. I mean, the grab against Nikodos, kind of trying to overwhelm him with multiple positions was a really good factor, but I guess the fact that Crims was able to bring some heroics, it brought it to a very close level, and that's kind of the shakiness that Big need to take away, because I think that should have been easier than it actually was.
Once again, it's the worst supplier that gets the better round. Wonderful stuff from Tabson there. The money issues for Fnatic were negated enough to the point where they can get a rebuy back here. Tactical pause was taken, I can assume, by Big. You saw how animated God B was there a moment ago. The discussions in with his team. The addition of him as a coach. Done wonders for Big in the last handful of weeks. So the Fnatic can shut that good streak down. The AWP of Crims set in towards the ramp room. Glass cannon in this round.
Now with Big. Fairly standard stuff from them. You do talk about the glass cannon on the Fnatic side, but I look at the lack of smokes now for Big. They've already expended it, and if they wait too long, may not have it for the vestiges of the round that they do require to commit with his take. Pavan will be holding on to his life for that one. Crims may be challenged here, though.
Is he up for the challenge, though? That is the question. Watching and ready, and he's hoping to receive. Plenty of players jump face. He knows how that works. First one's of 8, second man pops out and goes down. And Roy can do the rest of the work here, tagging up Tizzy and Incendiary's back. Searson's Orp also strikes in. Mezzi's fallen. Roy got a little bit of work to do. 2 players face him. Again, one of them falls. And again, Fnatic can just hold control of the man advantage here. Roy even backing up even further to bait farming out. But the dink comes through from the Galil, and he's credited with a frag himself.
Roy was so smart to back away from that one. Knew that the fight was to be taken later on, but of course, with the upper angles, with Favan connecting that headshot, couldn't survive that feat. But still Big, yet to gain 2 important control, and they're starting to run out of time. The decision now has to be made, and that has to be done dry. No utility on their end, but thankfully for them, there's no one close by into that A site apart from Forest having full sky control.
Bear down upon them, 2 to line up, coming in easy. Fartham was low HP anyway, and now with 34 seconds here, so knows he's going to fall back. Couldn't have afforded for anyone to stand in their way there. The time would take way too low for Big. And that leaves a 4th in for Fnatic. A second round where players are forced to save for the T side.
So that's one of the things I was kind of thinking about Big, right? Often they want to play around the map, play around the information that Fnatic is giving them and try and find openings to work around it methodically. But often when you don't have enough resources to do that, sometimes you just need to pull the trigger on the attack a little bit quick. And this was one of those instances where Big just weren't doing that, right? We could already note that 3 smokes were expended. Maybe that was to sell a fake, but they didn't have a player to kind of just rush in there or sort of create some noise for Fnatic to actually fall victim to that. I think it was just too Delicraft, too much of a big play, and Fnatic just read right through it.
Outplayed it easily and everything. Pistols out for the follow-up round. No real major force to invest this time. Have got hand cannons and P250s, so there is that much potential in that sense. Firepower difference has already struck to the first, second, and third kills. Crims with his double, Nico Otis providing support with the AWP. Not even required. Crims just gets the quadra, and that makes it look so easy. They got a free double AWP.
Clean as it could be, Jay. Clean as it could be. Not dropping a single player. That's what you like to see. That rhymed. Didn't expect that would rhyme. But yeah.
Professional caster, ladies
Professional caster, ladies and gentlemen. You know, maybe a poet in some life.
A past life.
Past life. Maybe future one.
Eh? No, never know. Do you believe in the afterlife, Pavlos?
I don't know what I believe in, Jay. Let's not get into that. Let's not get too philosophical
questions here at the Pinnacle Cup Championship. Well, philosophy of Counter-Strike at the most certainly. Fnatic's philosophy currently working well on their CT side. Back up on the guns, opting not to go with the double AWPs this time, actually. Still got that SMG on Mezzi. It's Nico Otis with the AWP again to strike first.
He's so dangerous on it, man, and he's not scared to go aggressive. We saw that yesterday, a little bubble of performance from him, and he does it again.
Highlighted on the desk for good reason as well. Extremely dangerous. Will continue to be a thorn in Big side. Still working out here towards the red box. Saw that second, man. How quick was that?
And that all came down to Roy's flash right there. The desk highlighted this morning that you want him to be assistant. Nikodos can't feel comfortable, but he's got his old teammate with him, and he's right beside him to make that happen.
Yeah, easy picks. It just feels like a 5-on-2. Only 2 points of damage done to Fnatic in this round. They might even stay that way if Forest gets his way. Tizian drops Trimbo to fall. Man, it looks so easy on this first map.
Fnatic are playing like there's nothing to lose, and I think on the other end, on Big, we started seeing them shake a little. It seems that all of their plays are a little bit, you know, it feels a little bit rough on them pulling the trigger on these decisions, and it's not looking great for them. While on the other side, Fnatic, they don't feel like they're challenged too much, right? I mean, we're seeing a lot of dry peaks. Forest is there to collect a lot of them. He got a triple by himself, highlighted yesterday for a good reason. And I think these narratives are carrying on and on and on again because Fnatic haven't needed to switch anything up yet. Big isn't causing the pressure.
Yeah, and I think the thing as well is that something that was really not really talked about too much about Fnatic coming into this tournament is the unpredictability factor of it, right? It's a brand new roster, so we don't know what their playbook is going to look like. We don't know what their style is going to be. And I feel like that's come back to bite a lot of teams, or the teams that have played them so far here, Heroic especially, obviously from yesterday's performance. It was a best of one, sure. This best of three could be Big ruining the day if they're not careful. 6-1. Current scoreline looks so good for Fnatic. Another tactical was taken there by Big, but not much they can follow it up with here. Only pistols in this round.
I mean, CT side Fnatic.
That is another thing as well. It's also CT side of Nuke.
Yeah.
And I don't know how Fnatic are going to be coordinated for that T half. We'll find out in the second half, of course, but for now, it's another decimating round. It looks like Roy has already picked up Tabson.
Ooh. Big wouldn't mind more of that. That's an M4 to be collected. Fnatic left to play all by themselves. Crims now has to pay for that. And now the rest of the team may have to pay for that as well, because Tizian, with that long M4, maybe they'll make it happen. They've gotten the bomb down as well. Now they're setting up the crossfire position, looking to play aggressive. Fnatic sort of reading on this, though, and not taking their chances. They want to play this out methodically. Tizian damaged down with that HE grenade. But it's all down to timing when Fnatic are starting to get stuck to push from both ends.
Roy sees his man, gets the kill. Not a lot of Kevlar to work with here. Still got lack of helmets on Crimbo. Tech9's about to peek in. It's only the pistols left. The P250 going undetected, but they check it. 2 kills in. Searson left alone in the middle of the smoke. Got to capture the bomb carrier. Gets those 2 kills! Oh, so close, but Mezzi has him locked off. Still a damaging round. You saw how close that got, though. 2 fantastic headshots, and he landed that 3rd player. That would have been it.
I got scared for a second there, man. That nearly happened, dropping through the smoke like a ninja, finding 2 kills out of nowhere with a Tech9. Wow, okay, well, Fnatic are definitely shaking with the thought of something like that happening again, but thankfully, again for them, when moments seem to get a little bit out of hand, it's just individual brilliance to bring it back. But yeah, Fnatic had plenty of players to deal with that by the end of it, because they didn't drop too many on the first trade.
Continue to keep the round streak going. 7-1 now. Rifles are back for Big, though, and we saw how deadly they were on pistols. Let's see what they can do with the automatics. Not much for Tabson. Once again, Roy has struck first. The first man's full. And again, only so much damage done to the Fnatic side.
This is really looking very natural for Fnatic. I think what really goes in hand is the fact that, you know, there was an interview early on yesterday where I think it was both Roy and Nikodos that were talking. They say that their playstyle that they love playing, that they were playing before in Copenhagen Flames, sort of aligns very well with the idea that Mezzi has about how he wants this game to be played, essentially. So this feels very natural for them, and I think we already see that from the illustrations from Dust 2 against Heroic yesterday, how it's showing now on Nuke. Could be early doors to kind of see what it looks like in a full best of 3, but if they're able to get started like this, why not carry it onwards?
There's Roy with a kill on Farther, and once again a 5-on-3. He's looking in for even more. Crimbo's the next man to challenge the low HP player of the T side. 42 points for him, and not really any utility to get him back into the engagement. Forest, meanwhile, drops Searson. I think that's the bomb gone with him. Roy seeing the man, but still Crimbo comes up with a kill this time. A flash in could allow them to get out towards the observation window. That's not going to mean much for Big, though. The bomb's on the upper site. 25 seconds to get it back, and I think they're throwing in the towel.
Tizian and Crimbo, brothers in arms. Crimbo the younger of the 2, but I think for now they just stand still, just play around with the buttons and control room, because nothing more they can do in this particular round. They just let it go, save those weapons for the next, and that's Fnatic. Keep on increasing that lead, keep on putting that pressure on Big, and it's starting to become mental for them.
Pushing buttons in control room. Sounds like me when I'm in a video gallery. Shout out to the production boys who know what they're doing, unlike a certain caster.
Yeah.
Good stuff so far for Fnatic. They definitely know what they're doing. They look brilliant right now. And again, to re-emphasize what I was saying earlier, I'm not certain whether that's down to the CT side of this map and Fnatic just working with a standard style of play and whether that's going to translate over to the T half. But the truth of the matter is that if they continue getting this dominating scoreline, if this continues on this way, then it might not matter how good Fnatic's T side is, because you only need like a handful of rounds and you're done.
Could all mean that it's a pistol continuation, right? I mean, it could all just crumble very quickly for Big, just like it did versus Heroic yesterday. Could be surprising a lot here, considering that this match will determine who will be qualifying to the player straight out of the bat, and knowing that if they do win this match, they'll be playing up again, well, in front of the fans, man. This is such a dangerous group. Considering Heroic is already in the lower bracket, only 2 of those 3 teams will try to make it forwards. It's incredible.
Drop in for Crimbo, dealt with by Roy. A couple of close shots from Nico Odos, almost caught players on the cross back towards Secret. They're making no qualms about this, Big. They're just rushing down the stairs. 3 players there with 1 lurker currently working in towards the ramp for him. Not like it's going to matter. The main force is getting picked apart. 2 seen, 1 down. Farvan does strike on Nico Odos, and Crim's trying to prepare for him. Sees the man. Farvan gets the kill, taps and chimes back, and finally Big of a man advantage.
He's got an out of control for Fnatic. Now they need to recuperate. They need to find his individual kills, and that's Forest back on track, looking for a double. Farvan will be putting him to his grave, though. Tabson recovering on the back end, so Big are now back in contention.
At long last as well. Felt like a real long time coming, and you could see what that did. Looks of frustration, but also euphoria on that Big side. Wonderful. That's exactly what they need at this stage. A round, and a crucial one. That could be a momentum swing here. The guns are back for Fnatic, though. They've had such confidence in this that they can afford another buy.
And you can see everyone for Fnatic is online, running. They're all hitting their shots. Everyone across the map is feeling alive in the game, and it's feeling very comfortable for them. But with this win for Big, it means that they can start rolling the tempo forwards heavy. Mezzi talking about tempo, aggresses further, but only runs away with 1 and only has to pay for it with some HP.
Oh, what a kill for Farvan. Walking forward against Roy as he dives down the vents. They were checking it, and now they know that he's there. But it's cost Fnatic the man advantage as a result. And a crucial bit of map control. If they can work their way down from Secret, they already have the advance forward to work into that B site, and Nico Odos will fall back even further, turning away from the red box. The P's are about to make their way past it. Forest sees 2 and recognizes the mistake they've made.
Yeah, peeking out without a flash, without... Oh, dry. Mezzi also ends up falling. So Fnatic in big trouble here. Unless they grab a kill very early on, it's going to be an impossible feat, and Crims is the only one fairly nearby to do this. It has to be big to overstep for Fnatic to unlock their way back in this round.
I think this might be a safe call, honestly, for Fnatic. Money's a little bit sus. Orphan M4 now suppressed by smokes and mollies. The spray blinded towards the general direction of the double doors, but I don't think the angle's right. It certainly won't catch Crimbo. Gets that bomb down safely, and you can see them now escaping towards Hell, just knowing it's not worth it. Hold on to the guns, give up the 3rd to Big, and look for the guns in the next round.
Yeah, I'm sure they would have given it a go if that HE grenade and spray down there from Crims would have turned out victorious for them. If they would have gotten a kill out of that one, maybe would have entertained the idea of a retake. But yeah, you're right, best chance to hold back a bit. You're right, the economy needs to be stabilized a little bit, even though they've been winning so many rounds in a row, 8 to be in fact. It's still difficult to maintain such an economy when you're talking about the economy of the CT side.
A 3rd for Big, starting to build up a basis here. Still best case scenario of 8-7 down for them. Fnatic have many more possibilities. They can regain themselves an opportunity right here. Gob's really animated today. He really wants these guys to win it. I guess he recognizes the importance of this match. Both teams have a lot riding on this winner's game.
Yeah, and I heard kind of EVP, right? It means no AWP, so... yeah, see, I know my German. But yeah, I wonder how they want to play this out. I mean, multiple occasions on the T side, we see these teams kind of not going for that AWP, try and go for a rifle force on the outsides, maybe gain close space if they want to play aggressively. Maybe that's what Godby is alluding to, right? Maybe that's what he wants his team to do, not really hold back and allow Fnatic to feel comfortable to traverse through the map and bring out surprising positionings. Maybe he just wants Big to take control early themselves.
Was that early start that got them the whole round, so let's see whether it works out once again. Guns are back for Fnatic though. Again, the save weapons allowing this buy to come through. Nico Odos Monster that he's been playing much more passively. Crims trying to receive that aggression though, can deal with at least one player, but him and Roy have been tagged in the interim. Nico Odo's rotating back, spots one, catches the leg of Tabson, is forced to fall away as Crims continues to strike Tizian down. Nico Odo's pressure, deals with one man and gets the quick scope on that second. It's fathered in a 1v5, and despite Big's best efforts, despite their pace and tenure in this round, they still can't get the job done.
That's the star AWP player you wanted to bring over from Copenhagen Flames, arguably the best AWP player in Denmark right now. Oh, goodness gracious me, what a clutch that was for him to grab and put his team back ahead. Over-aggression for Big. I like the idea behind it, but a little bit uncoordinated, and Nikodos was there to punish it. What a performance.
A 3K for him in the round, and even though he's not top fragger of the Fnatic board, he's certainly up there and having the impact when it matters most. It's led to this 9-3. It's led to Big being knocked back a peg once again. They do have a gun by, but it's with a Galil in spare for Tizian. And they're right back to the slow start. They tried the quick plays down secret into ramp, and it's back to defaults immediately, applying the brakes and knocking their confidence.
And it's Searson straight back to that big gun of green, right? Straight away, they tried the fast approach. That's not working out. Let's try something different. And, you know, this is where Fnatic were able to succeed earlier on, right? This is where they were able to prevail and gain that first 8-round run by, right? And now they may be able to continue it even further. Big have taken damage onto Faven, but it seems they're looking to move in unison on this outskirts of the map.
See Forest trying to watch the edge of that smoke. There's no gap on the right-hand side. Tabson, headshot angle. Roy's got it. Can't quite double up, though. Extends, and that cost him his life. As Forest falls in turn, it means the advantage goes the way of Big.
Yeah, Fnatic simply dropped that quickly. Mezzi controlling the site clearly. Not wanting to give away on that. So tilting the scales back to square. Crims might have good wraparound here and catching Searson off guard. Now that puts Fnatic back in charge. And Big, two players very spread out, one from another.
And that kill on Searson also dismantles the backstab up from heaven. Crims has got the bomb carrier. 2 kills. That's all he needs. Crimbo left alone. Might be able to get this one decent trade, but Crims is not even going to let him get the chance. He has the info, and he's done his little job here. 15 seconds left on the clock. And Crimbo knows who's going to grab that AWP and save it once again. Big going to allow 10 to go the way of Fnatic. And I feel so dejected because we saw those couple of great rounds. Big finally finding their rhythm. Then Fnatic just shut them down. And then they come up with a round like this where Big again felt like they were going to take control. They didn't. It seems like we're back to formula for Fnatic, boys.
It wouldn't be impossible for Big to bring out a turnaround on the CT side if they're able to grab a couple more rounds here on the T side. But, you know, if you hand all of them over to Fnatic, I think that just becomes a lot more difficult considering the pace that Fnatic can bring. Considering what we were able to see from them on the T side on Inferno, that didn't look too bad either. So if they keep on bringing default setups to the table, they're bound to find those victories here and there. But for Big, this is looking really rough. And as same as the buy they've got right now, it's not looking great.
AWPSC can at least strike first here on the outside control. Big forcing the buy, getting this off out with Galils, and Forest makes his own aggressive play. The veterans are taking control in server today. A 2-for-1 that gets Fnatic back in control. And Nico Odo's now up to task with the AWP. The T's might face him here.
Another bubble of someone doing their own thing here from Forest, and it seems Nikodos is back on track to deliver. Might not be able to finish Searson off, but his teammate is there to cover him. Forest with a triple this round. Absolutely dismantling the side of Big. They want to prevail. This now made international roster will want to go far, and this is the start game of many.
Man alive. Again, I come back to the point I made. If it's 12-3 at the half, Big's chances are very low on the comeback. Not impossible, but it is going to be difficult. It's been a difficult... I do hear the laughter as well, right? They're chill. They know.
They're
we're
vibing.
Fine. We're good. And we're great. We've got loads of opportunities. We've got loads of round. We've got such a big deficit. Headsets are off, so I can imagine there's a technical issue somewhere here. But it's fine. It's good. Fnatic are just... all right, you know,
yeah.
we'll take it. It's
Casual
fine.
walk in the park.
Yeah. Take that little bit extra time to relax and chill. Laugh.
Yeah.
Have fun. BM, perhaps.
You can see Crimbo and the rest of them still.
Yeah, I mean, again, the
difficult.
contrast.
The
Laughter
contrast,
on that
right?
side, no smiles over here.
Tension.
Yeah.
You can clearly see them all tensed up, you know. Yeah, it cannot be easy for them. And I think now on approaching the end of this half, if you look at the round scoreline as well, I think that reflects to it easy. But I think most importantly, what Big have tried, they've tried multiple different playing styles in this particular matchup. It feels like they've lost their identity. This is not the Big we saw in IM and Dallas, right? This is not what we've seen from them recently. This looks like an extremely different roster. It's as if they didn't wake up on the right side of the bed. So, yeah, I'm a little bit worried. If they carry on this way on this series, Fnatic might be able to run away with this one, and it cannot feel good for the Germans in this instance.
Well, at least they have the momentum break, not by virtue of anything that Big have done, but it's a momentum break nonetheless, and that might just be enough to get them back with that one little extra round just at the end of the half, just to get that small little swing into the second half pistol, go to your CT side, and bring the comeback from there. Because for Big, it is all really about the CT side, right? That's their most won half. Even though they have a pretty good balance of T and CT rounds, generally their matches are won on the basis of just having such a great CT half themselves. Beating such great teams like Godsent and Mouse, and gone close against Vitality, for instance. And on paper, this should be a match that comes easy for them, right? Because this Fnatic squad just haven't got anything to judge from, right? We don't know what they're like on a map like Nuke, and going into a map like this, in theory, you shouldn't have the tactical basis to do much here.
No. But we do have some information for you guys watching at home right now. It seems there is a bit of a technical issue regarding some of the headsets, so they're being switched out on the Fnatic side. So they're looking to fix that up. You can see.
I can assume it's Crimson Nezzy's headsets.
Yeah, they're the ones not wearing them. So that would make a lot of sense. I see you've got eyes, Jay.
400 IQ, Jay.
Very smart.
Well, looks like they're about fixed up, so we should be going shortly. Just to recap for those of you who are just joining us, this match has been all Fnatic, 11-3 on the CT side of Nuke. And that is a big concern for Big, considering that they picked this one.
And also, I think you need to put in the gravity behind this matchup, right? If you get this best-of-3 victory, you're on to the playoffs straight away here for the Pinnacle Cup Championship. Cannot really be easy for the team dropping below, because on the lower bracket, waiting is heroic. And talking about heroic, they're the favorites to win the entire tournament. Yes, they won the first best-of-1 against Fnatic yesterday on that Inferno matchup, but yeah, you can't really expect to be able to do that much against those Danes on a best-of-3 status. So dropping to the lower bracket is something these teams will definitely want to avoid and want to get in front of a crowd as soon as possible.
The last of the half, buyout for Big. Vigo in for Searson, Galil's on 3 players, so it just continues to, the buy just keeps getting worse and worse as time goes on. Don't have to worry about that any further here. The AK on Farfan might have to be the playmaker. Look at how deep he's got into the site here. Accounted by Messi, though. Here's those footsteps. No one else faces it. Nikamoto's landed the leg shot, jumping no scope and all, and Roy knows what he's doing. But Crims has the man marked. Crimbo's fallen. Tizian and Searson, 2 versus 4, 1 versus 4. Gets it down to 3 players, at least for Searson's part, but a magical clutch that surely should not come through for him. He'll grab the M4, get another kill. And despite the manicness in that round, it still goes the way of Fnatic, a 12-3 half. What a way to close it.
How did Nikonos hit that? Jumping up, no scope, the inaccuracy should be non-existent.
I know that Imperial are here, but I didn't know Cold was.
Cold Zero. Are you back? Oh, well, in a different form. Okay, I see the clapping from Gobby on the back end. I mean, of course, you're now into a new venture. You're now on the CT side where you're most comfortable. 12-3 can't be all that easy to overcome. And especially if Fnatic are able to win the pistol early on, they'll be getting to that closing out scoreline a lot quicker. So, yeah, this is actually an all-important victory. And yeah, I mean, it may be the first map of the best-of-3, but you still need to consider that Nuke picked this. I mean, Overpass picked this. Overpass picked... Big picked this!
There we go.
What is going on?
Maps picking up the map. Pavlos has entered Wacky World. Here we go. It's wacky as anything. Big with the CT side. If there's a time for Godbeat to try and pick up their spirits, it would be coming into this second half. Last chance for them to try and do some work here in the pistol. They've crossed out, and Roy immediately domes in Tabson. Not the start they wanted.
No, absolutely not. Now with the first kill, you can see the wraparound for Fnatic taking control of multiple edges, multiple corners, and Big need to look left and right behind them. They don't have eyes everywhere, and that's why Forest is able to find another. Row comes in from the side. Favon no longer has an ear. In one ear, out the other, but Expression wasn't used for bullets. Searson, all that remains, and Big have all their hopes onto him, because this could be the one player to switch it around, but up against 5. What really are your chances?
It would be an incredible pistol clutch if he pulled it off, but I haven't seen many of those, not with the USP especially. outside on the T half of the map. Was trying to go for a flank out there from Silo, but forced to drop off now being the last man and just unable to connect his kill shot bullets. Nico Odos will fall in the end and 2 more players will face him. Gets Mezzy, but not Crims. And it's a pistol for Fnatic. This has suddenly turned into worst case scenario for Big.
It is not looking great, and I think we've kind of taken that narrative for quite some time. I don't know if we want to start talking about the next map here, Jay, because over the past...
Give it at least a little bit. Let's start talking about the second map when we start to approach the second map. I don't think we're quite there yet.
And the thing is, Big weren't able to find too much damage there. So on the CT side, it's difficult to find a forced second round, and like it is on the T side. So this could keep them trailing behind. They know they need to get those weapons as soon as possible. Those M4s will be their saving grace.
All it really means is that round 18 is going to be make or break for Big, really.
Yep.
Mezzy, the Mac 10, ready to wrap that corner against Crimbo and Farben. If there's a round you want to take a Mac 10, it would be this kind of one. No Kevlar, no upgrades. He's walked past 1 player and Crimbo's allowed to kill 4 it. Surprisingly, the trade a little bit slow there from Forest. And Zeus out for Farben is also ready. Roy was outside against Tabson. They're not aware of Farben just yet. If he can get 1 kill, that'd be nice, but he's the last player left.
Come on, Farben, no!
Snuck by. No! No! Oh, it's all gone wrong.
The moment he switched off the Zeus, I knew it was going to go badly.
Yeah.
No, you need to stick with the Zeus. You need to stick to that idea.
To be fair, he was like a mile away from the first player, so it's not like he was going to reach him.
No. A man can hope. A man can dream.
Have we seen a Zeus kill so far this event?
I don't think so.
I have to verify that. I have to. We're verifying Fnatic's victory in the next 2 rounds, I imagine, here, Pavlos.
So what really kind of surprised me, right? You know, Pala's always gone with Fnatic, vote, Golden as well on the desk, and they were correct last time around, and they kind of voted for it because of the bias that maybe they have towards the team, and it might be helping them out again. Still, the first map of many to come, right? It's a best of 3. Potentially could be 2 more maps, but Big already damaged up, and if they lose this round, you can safely say their chances are near to none to winning this map.
Tizian and Farben are tagged up already. Shot missing on the AWP. Nico Odos the 8th. Backs up out of there. Got to escape dodge. Leave it all on the likes of Tabson, who's deep over towards Garage, so even he can't do much about this outside force because they're going towards Secret.
Big holding to their guns while Fnatic look to wrap around back to the main entry towards that ace site. They've given up that space, therefore it is going to be a methodical one. 45 seconds on the clock, starting to line up some of their utility. Davin with a good angle.
Time's running short, though. Haven't lost a man yet for Fnatic. Same can be said for Big, though. Tizian posted up low HP. Farben's got to provide support. 2 lines up, and Tizian actually mows them down. The bomb gets dropped and everything. And with Searson Ort pick, suddenly it all turns the way of the CT side. Roy with 1. Got to come in from the mini position. Sprays back from Farben, trying to suppress him 10 seconds. Fnatic, they're out of time. They're out of the round here. They've got to save their weapons. They took too long with the execution, and Big were ready for them.
Thought it was the M4s to do it? No. Bring out of FAMAS, and it's Tizian to hold that down. So Fnatic there a little bit slow on their take, a little bit... I mean, they were a little bit lingering on that push. I mean, the flash came in, but the push didn't come right after it. Therefore, it only cleared out one of those corners for a very small amount of time, and Tizian sees the opportunity to swing on that latter stage, right? Those heads started to appear at the same instant, both of them trying to take control of the one angle. It was an off angle from Tizian, not a really expected one, but one that caught Fnatic off guard nonetheless.
That's their way into this game here as well. Fnatic forcing back around the 2 save weapons. 2 Galils and an AK, a couple of Deagles as well for Forest and Mezzy. Not impossible for them to still take this round, so don't count them out until the round itself is over. Roy charging through that Molotov into more Secret, sprays through from Tabs, and hoping he can catch a headshot, but so far so little has been gained. Tizian just jump facing back at the decon angle, and Mezzy will walk forward with his teammates.
Not impossible for Fnatic to win this round. But for Big, it's got a big mountain to climb. No pun intended. Fnatic showing where they're heading to. Big still, multiple players on the upper side of this map now looking to rotate towards ramp. They're allowing the plant to commence. Fnatic not dropping a play, and they're even finding the first pick.
That's not good. That nade's not good either. Searson down low, Tabson. The C1 player, Mezzi's P250, Pickers found it, and Big are out of there. A pistol and a rifle, that's all you need.
You know, he polished that pistol up before that round began. He said, you're going to be my friend. And Big now move away from it, know that they need to save these big guns because that's all they've got left. They have no time, they have no space, and Fnatic have also got the numbers. So Big, they're in massive trouble here because Fnatic are finding themselves on map point. Who would have thought this would be the case starting off this day?
11 map points for Fnatic on Big's own map pick. And of all rounds to take it, it had to be the one with no guns. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. It's not looking... I mean, we were saying this all map long, but it's really not looking good for Big now. I think they might be adding a nuke.
Oh, yeah. Can we now talk about overpass?
Yeah, I think you can.
Yeah,
I think you can.
I mean, they've got another buy in them. Big may be able to hold on for a little bit longer. We saw some sort of comebacks from Finest yesterday. Weren't able to finish it off as the lead of their opposition was just too vast. Oh, very aggressive for Fnatic there. Putting Rowe in a very far position. Now, Tapson wants to elude to the other side, but it's still a trade. Damage on both ends, but still, Fnatic with a lot of space gained from that endeavor.
Yeah, 4-on-4 situation. Fnatic being lower on the HP numbers overall. Roy working towards that outside. Crimbo is watching for the man. Big really need to follow up here. If they don't get at least a kill, Fnatic will still hold dominion over them going into the execution. Flash is being thrown over, but they're not ready to commit.
Just approaching that 1 minute mark, Fnatic sort of putting more pressure back where they started. Tizian has had his mind on where Rowe can come out from. Big pressure point can come through from this guy. Flash away onto the back end now, smoked off. Not much Tizian can do, but he starts to waltz around it, back into the safety. Crimbo's got the back end dangle and still keeping things going here for Big. Multiple trades, and now Fnatic are putting their hopes on only 2.
30 seconds, Crimbo gets his frag, now all left the forest. Gets that one. 3 more to find, he's known here to the CT side. He's got the bomb on his back, so he could go for a bomb plant if he finds the right angle and the right site. Walking into A, so he's picked the wrong one. That's where 2 players are holding from. Tap in the corner, checked by Tizian. Watched ready and raring to receive, knowing he had to charge forward, so Big will maintain a lifeline. The comeback into overtime has only just begun, but will it be cut short?
I mean, that round all began kind of to unfold in Big's favor from the push through the smoke there. Fnatic were playing a little bit slow, not really giving sort of Big the props for kind of pushing towards that. They didn't really expect it, really. So on that end, they kind of fell flat. I mean, they had to initiate the push. Rowe couldn't do anything all by himself there. So at this point, yeah, Fnatic need to rethink how they're going to do this. Big may be able to find some momentum and start to find a few more rounds, but you still need to think that, you still need to know that Fnatic are on that map point, so there are no mistakes permitted for Big.
Not a single one. One and you're done, as they say. Take these conversations and discussions extremely seriously. Fnatic not looking so cheery anymore. Still have that 10-round differential, so they haven't got to worry too much. But now's the time to focus up. Don't mess around. Just get the round that you need. Take the 16-5 or 16, whatever it might be. That one golden round that you need, and just close it from there. That's all you need to focus on. Roy will cross out towards the secret position, flashes in against Primrose's position. 4 players, in fact, making their way in. And Forest's Mac 10 is all get the opener. Tizian chimes back on Roy, though.
The young stars simply just fell under the pressure. They fell under the hot lead. Tapson still controlling the site. Fnatic just stumbling over players, and they're not quite able to kill them in that factor. And instead, they're killed back.
Advantage of Big still. Minute on the clock, and they're going to work their way back in. Nico Otis and Crims. Lobby control, working their way back. Farthen First player to receive on top of the Hut. Fnatic slowing things down, but they're not going to make the same mistake of running out of time this time. They don't check Hut. Farven finds Crims. Unawares of the other two will start to check it. Nico Odas, however, has the headshot angle. The bomb can go down from here. Searson will try and contest it, though.
The vital part is that Big do have that heaven position covered, and Fnatic need to be good to find more than one kill. Nikodas needs to be wary of the back end. Tapson with a bullet to the back of the head, and now it's all down to Mezzi.
He's clutched before, then he clutched again. One frag found, Transfer doesn't connect it. Had he got Searson, maybe that could have worked out, but not to be in this one. Big continue to maintain the lifeline at 6 on their board.
Now they're all happy again. Well, can't be too happy, but they can now feel alive on the server, and they're capable of taking these Ws. Mezzi, on the other hand, looks a little bit troubled, doesn't he? They seem to have some control out of that. It seemed that it could all happen for them. But their pace has slowed down completely for them. Now back on the eco. So Big have got some time to start build up some ground and try and catch up a bit.
Yeah, they're making their way in. That CT side. Again, we talked about it being the comeback possibility for Big. I don't think it's going to come to full fruition until we actually see it. Again, it's still way too early to say it's a definite chance. Hand cannons on 3 players for Fnatic, and eco round to say the least. A couple of bits of Kevlar and a couple of individuals. Searson almost got caught off by one of those deagles. He's not dead yet.
Can't expect too much from Fnatic in this one, especially with the slow pace and, of course, with the lack of utility. It's sort of a trickle play they're trying to gather. Searson is never going to miss those shots.
Tizzy's second player as well, not quite catching Nico Odas. That's Tizian's job. SMG doesn't get the second player, not like it matters though. Everyone else has fallen for Fnatic. Crimson a 1 versus 5. And again, formality round there for Big and Fnatic. Eco to be dealt with. A little bit of cash going the way of the CTs and everything. The USP of Searson is what gets his third kill, not the AWP. Not like it matters. Again, simple frags, simple stuff. And now simple guns in for Fnatic. Their chance to close out again.
Yeah, not too bad for Big. Of course, confidence building. Cool insight to see how these teams sort of communicate through mid-rounds here. Have an idea of what the mental is like now on LAN. Straight out of the bat, new roster, how they sort of kick things out here. But the opening for Fnatic is good, and maybe this is where they're able to cross through the finishing line.
That's 1 frag out of 5 rather. 4 more to go. Forest is hunting for his inside of the Hut. Not knowing where the CT player is there at the open bent corner. Roy down in towards Secret. Of course, cleared out from Searson's part a little bit earlier on.
Crimbo's actually pushed very aggressively over towards ramp, but now it's just backed away. He got me a little bit nervous for a second, but no, that's not where they find the pressure.
Tizian finds the pressure on Forest, takes him out. 4 on 4. He was the low HP player of Fnatic, to be fair, so it's an easy frag to find. They can hear the footsteps, the Molotovs being sent down to the B side, which is where the commitment will come through. Crimbo and Tizian have, or Tapson rather, have their angles, but they don't last long. A 2-for-1 trade that puts Tizian and Farven up for the retake.
It was a crossfire setup that could have had potential, but now Fnatic need to get in these positions to hold back this onslaught. Roy, up close and personal, but it's Farven to take the first trade onto the back end. Farven pressured over. Roy is putting all of it onto Tizian, and he has to do this all by himself.
1v3, faced in by Roy, gets that kill, but loses so much health for it. Swap into the second AK, looking for Mezzi desperately, knows that he's low in the backside, unawares of where Crims is about to walk right into the man. And there it is, a 16-7 Fnatic finally closed out what was still a one-sided opening map for them. Big's pick of Nuke, that was clearly a bad call.
Man, I mean, Golden at the start of today said it's the good thing about this for Fnatic is that they are starting things off on the CT side, and we know how devastating they can be. As we've seen for the past few games that we've seen throughout the tournament, throughout this year, that M4A1S is so important and vital to get that grind early on, and that lead that they've created, that space between Big, was just instrumental for them. It built up confidence, it built up their strengths, and they were able to feel confident to close out this game in the manner that they did. And it was just too much of a difference for Big to cover.
Well, Fnatic take Big's map pick and look to their own home turf of Overpass after this short break, so do not go anywhere as we'll return with even more of this best of 3.